Okay, so I've had a bit of an issue recording this episode. I just finished recording a bit into the final palace of the game when I realized, oh shoot, I didn't get the last spell I was supposed to get in this town here, which now we can see the ghosts in thanks to us picking up the cross. This is the point of the cross item, and this is where we can get the last spell in the game, the one that we need in order to beat the game that I completely forgotten, which I feel really bad about now. But oh well, that doesn't concern you guys at all. After all, you didn't see any of that. I can give you most powerful magic, and he gives us the Thunder Spell. Thunder Spell uses 100 magic points. This is very expensive, but it is necessary. And that's the end of the town right there. I'll just go ahead and die. Thing is, I have 1 life left, and it is quite a bit of a gauntlet in order to get to the final palace of the game. So I want to have all my lives before I head there. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to backtrack through all this again. You know how it is. This is the 3rd time we've gone through the exact same 3 screens just because of how the game overs work in this game, which I think I mentioned at one point earlier in the Let's Play that the final palace, when you die, you respawn at the palace, which I don't know why that isn't the case for all of them. Granted, I don't think there were too many, if any, instances in this playthrough in which I got game overs in palaces, but I certainly know I did Death Mountain, which meant I have to go through all of that again. And Death Mountain was pretty much a gauntlet, a palace of sorts. You have to go down here. There's a screen. Oh man, those ghosts hurt us. They take a lot of experience points when they hit us, and they also don't die instantly. They take 3 hits. At least with the level 7 sword. I'm sure people may recommend that I did some grinding before heading immediately off to the final palace, but I'm just trying to get this over with. Plus, there's the fact that I'm currently grinding in Pokemon and Final Fantasy II, so I didn't want to do grinding in this game as well. And you know, this is one thing, this is pretty much the only game I could record right now. I couldn't do Pokemon because I'm grinding that still. Same with Final Fantasy II, although I'm getting very close in that game. Much quicker than I thought I would. I might actually do more grinding than I anticipated, just for the sake of making things in the playthrough easier. So, this game is pretty much all I had left to do, and I didn't want to do grinding in this as well. I did debate starting a brand new playthrough, but managing 4 at the same time might be a bit much. Especially with the kind of games I have in mind. Yeah, the path to the final palace is very long. There's a lot of these ghost enemies right by the bottomless, or not the bottomless pits, the lava pits, which instantly kill you. And these jumps here, we always gotta use the jump spell, which means you're not gonna have nearly as much magic to use on healing yourself as you would want. Another screen, and here's the thing, all the trap screens in this whole area are pretty much identical. I don't get why they made them that way, but that's just how they are. What do we have over here? We have a blue Lizardfos. These guys throw their weapons just like how the blue Iron Knuckles were different in that sense. I'm about to die, aren't I? Yep. Those guys are rather challenging, aren't they? Last cave leading up to the palace. We have a blue Lizardfos in here. I'm just gonna... What I learned last time I tried fighting him is that this guy is persistent. He will follow us throughout this entire cave, so I want to deal with him immediately. And it looks like I cannot do that. There we go, okay. Let's continue on the screen then. It seems like when doing the jump stab on the Lizardfos, you gotta really hit the sweet spot. They're much more difficult than trying to land on the Iron Knuckles. But we made it to the final palace, and this opens up. You may have thought, hey, couldn't we have just come here in the first place? There's no monster blocking us or anything. We didn't have to use the cross item we got in the last palace. But actually, we needed to have all the orbs placed in order for that gate to open up, and we do need the cross to get the Thunder Spell, which we're going to need later down the road. Now, I have my map up, and this place is absolutely ginormous, as I will show you on the map now. The first way we need to go is left. There's a couple of enemies. These guys actually take a lot of hits, and their projectiles hurt quite a bit, which are also very difficult to avoid, so they're just there to be a nuisance, really. Now we want to go right, and I don't think... Okay, there's no enemies on this screen. I know there's no enemies on this screen either. These are just kind of here for no reason. I don't know why. Now there's one other big enemy that this dungeon introduces, which is these guys. These enemies. They are stronger variants of the Lizardfos or the Iron Knuckle. They jump around, they shoot blades, even the red variants do, and they will chase you down, as you can see here, as I'm desperately trying to get away from him. I'm not even going to try to fight any of those guys. I know I can't beat them. I don't know why the blue slime are suddenly taking more hits than they normally would, and I keep calling them slime even though this game calls them, I believe, bits or bots or whatever. There's a blue variant of that enemy, and I'm cornered and I'm dead. Yeah, it's okay. We're just back to the beginning of the dungeon. I'm gonna backtrack through all that we went through. We lost all our experience points, but I don't expect to level up at all in this dungeon anyway. And we are healed. Very nice. We definitely needed that. So, and we can make our way out, just like that. Now, over this way is actually an extra life, of all things. I think... I didn't remember this ever being here. I'd never gotten it before. Granted, I've only ever done this palace one other time. But it's nice that it's here, I guess. We could use it so we could actually make it to the end. Now, going down this elevator, we want to go left. There's going to be another blob and another one of those bird enemies that I love so much. I realize it's kind of vague when I say bird enemies because there's the ones in the armor and there's the ones that shoot fire. But it's the fire one. And then onto this screen, I'd like to remind the audience that this is the required way to go. Because it's so obvious, we must hit this brick, this brick, and then we fall down the invisible floor. Because of course. Also over here we have a giant blob. Ow. And he splits into a bunch of little ones. Maybe with all these blobs, one of them could give me a magic potion. That would be nice. Ooh, we got a magic potion. There we are. You know, the fact that these guys are giving me 10 experience points and not the normal, what was it, 2 they gave me? The original ones anyway? That tells me there are different variants somehow, but they look the same, so I don't know. Anyway, this bridge here, this is a collapsing bridge. This one I can understand. This one's a bit more clear. This area we have to drop down, because you can see the hole there, and you think, what's that? Well, it's where we're supposed to go. Also, right over here, they give you a red potion, because you're definitely going to need it. I'm going to first use it to give me a life, and I'll use it to give me another life, because there is another one, which we are going to definitely grab. Oh, never mind, it's an enemy, suddenly. Okay. We actually need the Thunder Spell in order to be able to hurt this boss. This here is the Thunderbird. The boss of the final palace. Come on out, Thunderbird. We use the Thunder Spell, or we use the Thunder Spell, he appears. Now normally, if I had enough magic, I would like to use the Jump Spell and the Shield Spell so that I could easily reach him and avoid taking as much damage as I did just now. Because as you can see, he really hurts. But this is all the fight is. He just kind of goes around and throws fireballs that really hurt you. We got a couple more attempts on him. It's going to be rather difficult for me to reach him without him reaching me. When not only is he attacking very quickly, but once again, my range is piss poor. There we go. We beat him. 1,000 experience points. Again, not even really worth it. I'm not going to bother leveling up at this point. We have the final boss of the game, because he wasn't it. The Thunderbird is not the end of this. We got one more boss, and since we have a couple lives, I'll try. I will try to fight him legitimately once. There is the third piece of the Triforce and the King of Hyrule. He takes it away for some reason instead of just giving it to us. And now, we must face our shadow, I guess. And it basically tries to mimic pretty much everything we do. But it's just kind of a ridiculously weird fight. Constantly you'll get stabbed in the knees, he'll jump all over the place. It's like fighting a very difficult version of one of the bird enemies, and I'm not about that. So, because I ran out of patience, I'm going to use a strategy that hundreds of people use on this game every single time they play the final boss. Basically, all you gotta do, you just gotta go over into the corner here, you gotta crouch, and then you just stab.
12 seconds later.
Okay, we got him. What a great boss. And now he gives us the Triforce of Wisdom. This is the one that was like, it wasn't in the first game. This is the first game to have all 3 pieces of the Triforce. And the reason he had us fight our shadow was to test us. Getting all 3 pieces of the Triforce, we can now bring Zelda out of her sleeping spell. I might say, what an irresponsible king. I mean, if Zelda's the princess, I imagine that is her father. And I'm pretty sure that is the king, although I might be wrong. So, your daughter is trapped in a sleeping spell, and you have the key to save her, and you're still making me fight my own shadow? Come on now. Anyway, we saved Hyrule, even though Hyrule wasn't in danger, you were. And you were a real hero, or a real hero, do you hear that? And the curtain closes and Zelda and Link proceed to get it on because he deserves it, let's be honest. So, with a sigh of relief, I say, that is Zelda 2. My oh my, it is a challenging one. I mean, it is a good... Okay. There are a lot of aspects that are good in this game. The palace theme, good. The story, neat, novel, I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just going back to this game, there's not a lot worth value. The gameplay style hasn't aged all that well. I don't find playing it very fun. The graphics are only okay. The overworld bit isn't as fun as Zelda or other overworld games on the NES. The side-scroller bit isn't as fun as Ninja Gaiden or Castlevania or other side-scrollers on the NES. It's just a less fun version of everything it's trying to imitate. But more than that, it is tedious. It's tedious to go back to Zelda's palace every time you die. It's tedious to fight all the enemies who block all of your attacks constantly. If you guys think this is the most fun game on the NES, I respect you for that. It does have a neat idea for having more intense sword combat. That's more than the original Zelda had. But I just think there are so many more better games on the NES, so many more better Zelda games, so many more better side-scrollers in general. There's just really no reason to go back to this unless you're a particular fan of this game. If you're just trying to get into it, then maybe try it out. If you can get past Death Mountain without issue, this game's absolutely for you. Anyway, thanks a million for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Of course, now that Bad Sequel Month is over, I'm going to be getting into some sequels I'm actually looking forward to, such as the next Mega Man games, the next Castlevania games, and a little special game I've been looking forward to for a while.